everybody. We're here in our bathroom, and we're doing some interviewing here, and we've got some great guys. And you guys, could you just tell us who you are and tell us what you did today? Can you start over here?
I'm Dante Liberato. I live down in Colorado Springs and just have a lot of mountaineering experience, and I saw Janice's post on Facebook. I've been following it all week, so Nathan and I offered our help to come up and help this weekend and volunteer.
I'm Nathan Gippridge. I'm also from the Springs. Me and Dante have been friends for a little while. He actually just invited me up to help out, so I decided to come along and see what I could do.
Okay, and then this really handsome man on the end there. Who are you?
I'm Benjamin Tice.
Oh, same last name as mine. What do you say of that? That's my husband, folks. All right, so guys, you went out on the trail today, and could you tell us a little bit about the terrain? And then after you tell us about the terrain, could you tell us any suggestions that we can do to bring Micah home the fastest?
Yeah, so we started off a little late. It was about 7:30 when we got on the trail, and it should have only been about 2.5 miles to get to where we were going, to the point where we wanted to focus our search. But it took about 4 hours just to cover those 2 miles, just because of the wind and how deep the snow was, having to also move through tracks that hadn't been made yet so that we could search places that hadn't been looked through yet. But once we got to the area that we wanted to spend most of our time searching, our water had already frozen, and there was a storm coming in. The wind was up to 50 to 70 miles an hour, so it just wasn't practical for us to spend any more time up there. It wasn't safe to put more people's lives at risk up there, so we decided to come back down. And the team that we had coming up from the other side, I think they had the same issues, that their water just started freezing with as high up they got when they got up past 12,000 feet. And Nathan and I were looking at the helicopters today while they were flying around, and we were just kind of talking and discussing ideas, and it seemed a little far-fetched at the time, but obviously now nothing is far-fetched, and we're looking for a miracle. So we had discussed why they did not use the helicopters to transport people to the area that this search needed to be focused on, because, and I'm sure Nate can agree, it took so much time just getting to the area that we needed to search, and it would have been so much more effective just to start there and spend we were out there for 10 hours. If we could spend even 5 hours just looking at the area. So we were thinking, watching these helicopters, they could use, obviously you guys have all seen people rappel from helicopters, and military uses them all the time. I'm sure police departments use them all the time. And we were thinking that we know there's units at Fort Carson that are specifically trained in the mountains. We know that the Air Force has people that are trained to rescue people, pararescuemen. I know that that's their job, their title is So Others May Live, and they have a fellow airman out there right now as well that they could save. So I think it would be very, very effective if they could get helicopters up there above the tree line to transport people and focus the area, or focus the search in that area the whole day, just because it takes so much time getting to the area to search as well.
Right, basically we just spent probably half of our day or so getting to that search point. So if we could cut that out, because a lot of search parties have already covered those grounds, so it's kind of repetitive. So if we could get to the search points which haven't been, kind of ran through, it would be much easier on everyone who's trying to put forth the effort. Definitely just save a lot of time, a lot of effort.
Cool. So what do you guys think is the issue there? Why can't we get these helicopters up there, or any kind of help up there to get Micah out of that location? What do you think that is? Why are we having so much trouble doing that? Would you like to speak to that?
It's not a simple answer, and the people at Rocky Mountain, with the National Park Service, have been doing just tremendous work. I think they are some of the highest level trained people, especially this terrain. What we still believe is that we need 5 times as much of who they are for this mission. And what I have been learning, it's not just such a simple answer to just, hey, why can't the Fort Carson people who are qualified to do this just come in? Well, that's crossing legal entities and terrain that it's not just a simple, they want to do it, they want to help, and so they're going to come and help. We as a nation, which most of us are very happy that we are not a police military state, we don't want to be under martial law, and so we have some specific legal restrictions on the military, our U.S. military, doing, performing missions on our domestic soil. Each governor has their National Guard at their call to be able to implement, to call them up, to help, with state things, within their own states. But our U.S. military is not part of that. So a specific request would need to come from all the way up the chain, from the Rocky Mountain, all the way up to the Department of the Interior, the Secretary of the Interior, to request military provisions.
Who is the Secretary of Interior, Benjamin?
So Secretary Zink is our Secretary of the Interior, and but it's not such a. There are some legal restrictions which we are finding are going against our best interest. We think that search and rescue operations, benevolent activities to help someone, but especially for a service member who is on a mountain in the United States, should be one of the exceptions for the U.S. military being able to help with that specific case. Not to occupy our territory, not to say this is all under the military control now, but for that specific purpose of search and rescue. So that's what we are asking for from President Trump on down to Congress, Senate, to please consider changing some of those provisions so that these restrictions are removed, especially for search and rescue.
Especially for life and death situations. Wouldn't you agree?
We do.
Oh, I think that's unanimous in this room. So, guys, is there anything else that America can do to bring Micah home faster, in your opinion?
Everyone here has a little computer in the palm of their hand, so I think if everyone sees this video and everybody sends 5 or 6 messages to where we need it, then I'm sure that would be annoying enough to get somebody's attention. And make sure you guys are hashtagging Micah Tice and Donald Trump as well, so that we and the Secretary of Interior, because we don't want to leave anybody out, and we want to make sure that the people that need to see these posts are seeing it and that the information is getting to them.
Definitely just spread the message along. Like, if you're seeing this now, spread it to all your friends. Any help is definitely appreciated. We went out there all today and did as best as we could. So if a lot of other people would come together and help us with this effort and help the Tice family, that'd be absolutely incredible.
And we do appreciate any help that you can provide in this manner.
Yeah, so just to end up, how long were you out today, guys?
We were out there for about 10 hours today, and we barely covered 5 miles. That's how bad the conditions are and how deep the snow is. We took 3 or 4 decent breaks, but of course, as soon as you sit down, everything starts freezing, and you got to keep moving again. So we weren't stopped for too long. We were moving most of those 10 hours and moving very slowly because of all the snow up there. So.
Oh, well, 10 hours. We really are blessed and appreciate it, and we need more volunteers like you, because we have a lot of military support, and they have big hearts, and they love Micah, and they want to bring Micah home.
And we have had a great representation from the Academy.
Yeah.
And so we are very appreciative. They're doing everything within their means and their resources. But then again, we have that what we've already discussed, related to military participation on domestic soil.
Which isn't their fault. It's the way our country has been designed to flow. But I do agree that there should be exceptions to the rule when a comrade is facing life and death and you're leaving him up on the mountain. Thanks for coming and watching, guys. Spread the word.